Hello, everybody. My name is Ouroboros Reroll, aka in-game Deathkill. I am a build god. I make build videos and sometimes PvP videos. I will be talking about the PTS and the new title update that's coming soon. I'll be making a couple videos. In this video, I will be talking about the Umbra Initiative gear set. Now, might be the gear set everybody has the eyes on. This is a very amazing gear set, and I'm going to tell you what about it, but mostly I'm going to tell you how to build it, what you want. Every single one of these videos will be how to build the new pieces and what's good about them. So let me tell you about the Umbra Initiative. The Umbra Initiative is a 4-piece gear set. Here is what it does. The two pieces of it give 15% critical hit chance. It is a very good amount. 50% is a lot, especially for ARs. Then the 3-piece gives you 30% reload speed. Cut down the reload speed from 2 seconds to 1.5. That's a good amount. But that's not the greatest power of it. It's very good in PvP though. The 4 pieces of it, now this is going to take a while to talk about, so bear with me. I want to explain it in depth, and I want you guys to understand what it really and truly does. Okay? So that gives you 2 buffs. It gives you from the shadows and it gives you into the light. From the shadows is while in cover, gain 10 stacks per second up to 50. So you have to be in cover for 5 seconds to get the buff, the whole buff. Okay? Each stack will give you 1% critical hit damage and 0.5 RPM, aka 0.5% fire rate. Buff does not apply while you're shooting from cover or out of the cover. So you have to just be in here and just chill for 5 seconds. Let them push you. This is a very amazing PvP and PvE gear set. Very, very amazing. Now, why I will tell you soon. So, out of cover, you lose 4 stacks at normal speed, aka walking speed, and 2 stacks if running. So you lose less stacks if you're running around, So in PvP, you want a gun, shoot your thing, move around again, shoot. Preferably you want to do it all in one clip, but it's PvP, so everything's unpredictable. But the math adds to this. So this is the base value, right? So 50 after 5 seconds, you get 50 critical hit damage and 25% RPM. That's a lot of additional damage and a lot of RPM. So you want to be using slow rate of fire guns like the AK, right? The AKM 25% of 600 is 200, basically. So it's a little less. It's like 150, right? Is where it really is. You get 150 RPM. So you're shooting as fast as the P416. You're almost shooting as fast as the Carbide 7. So you'll be shooting basically this fast with the AKM. So that's how fast I got through that clip. And this is how fast I'll be getting through this clip. It's a lot slower. But with the buff at max, it shoots like the P416. And you get 50% crit hit damage on it. That is a lot of crit hit damage. And that's not even the best of it. Just let me tell you about Into the Light before I continue on about the guns. So Into the Light, while out of cover and in combat specifically, in combat. So like if you're like rogue and stuff, you could just be waiting. It doesn't take any stacks away. But while out of cover, gain 10 get 10 stacks per second up to 50, the same as into the shadows. So you get 50 stacks at most, so for 5 seconds. Each stack will give you 0.5% armor regen. When it's consumed, aka when you go back into cover, it consumes 10 stacks per second only in cover. So you have to be back in cover. But what it does, it gives you from the base 50, remember, the base 50 gives you 25% armor regen. So as soon as you get in cover for 1 second, you get 25% of your armor back. So if you're at 1.9 million, you're getting 25% of that back. So I'm basically at 2 million. So I would get 500,000. Just 500,000 in 1 second like that. But not just that. You want to use it with the catharsis for that 20% incoming repairs, right? So instead of getting that 500 Instead of getting that 500,000, you're getting extra 20% on that. So now you're getting 600. So you go into cover for 1 second. That's 600, right? You get into your fight, then you pop around the corner. You go into cover for 1 second. They have to push onto you, right? So it takes them 1 second to get into movement. That's 600 armor. And then the second for them to be right here to get your flank. So 2 seconds, right? You do lose 10 stacks, right? But you would heal. I would have healed 1 million at least in those 2 seconds that it took him to get over here. Then I continue to fight. That is a lot of just. That's almost a med kit. That's like almost like a firewall med kit is where it really is. It's basically a pseudo firewall med kit, and it is a lot. So that is a very good buff. It's not as important as Into the Shadows, but it's a very good buff. Like you can make this build a tank build. There's a couple ways to make this build, right? There's 4 ways to make it the way I see it right now. So let me tell you about the chest and the backpack. They have both unique buffs. So the backpack it increases stacks from 50 to 100 of Into the Light specifically, the armor region one. So it increases the stacks from 50 to 100, and you gain 20 stacks a second into the light. So when you're walking around, it's still 5 seconds basically. You just have to be outside in combat for 5 seconds. And then when you get into cover, it consumes 20 stacks a second, right? But basically, you heal for 50% armor regen at max stacks. So when I'm a full tank like this, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to die, I go into cover. For 1 second, I'm back at 1 million armor. 1 second, boom, 1 million armor. Katasa's mask, 1.2 million armor. Boom. I got 1.2 million armor again. Go back into the light, back into cover. Boom. Max health. You just shredded a 2.2 million armor guy, and he just chooses to come back into cover. Go back out of cover. Boom. Fight me again. That is insane. The chest plate increases stacks from 50 to 100. Gain 20 stacks per second from in the shadows. Okay, so still 5 seconds. Both these buffs are 5 seconds in combat, in cover, or out of cover. Now, at max stacks from the shadows, I have 100 crit hit damage. I repeat, 100 crit hit damage. So your armor pieces, these don't matter. You want crit chance on them most likely, on most of them at least. But you also get 50% RPM, aka fire rate. So this AKM now has 900 RPM. It's no longer shooting like the Carbine 7, it's shooting like a FAMAS. It is shooting like a FAMAS. Boom. AKM, 100 crit to damage. Shooting like a FAMAS. You're definitely going to have to put some stability on it. Because, man, is that too much kick right there. With an AKM. So the AKM is now shooting like this. That is a lot of fire rate and a lot of damage. Just from doing something simple like being in cover. But remember, as soon as you get out of cover, you lose 4 stacks. So instead of having 100 crit hit damage, I have 96 crit hit damage. And then, I start losing. I have 92. I have 88. I have, less. Now I have 78. Now I have 76. Well, not 72, but, basically that's what's happening. You're losing it. So as soon as you get it, use it. And then as soon as your buff is low, back into cover. Start armor regen. Start your armor regen. Get back into combat. It's a very amazing build, right? So I recommend using the chest plate. You don't need a backpack. The backpack, not that much. I would say either use Wicked or the Marauder with armor on it. Say this is the Marauder, right? Get the armor. Because you already have enough damage, right? So you want that Marauder to keep kicking. You could run 1, maybe 2 reds on this build, but I recommend just 1 red. Because this is mainly a survival build. It's a great build. you would be at 1.8 million. Like I recommend running one red or zero. You cannot do this with two reds. The region and the amount of buff you get, you're either going full blue or you're going full red. You could run this build with full red. I will talk about that after I talk about the armor one. But you want to run it with Catharsis. The Catharsis is going to give you the extra damage you need. I recommend running either Firewall or Demolitionist, you know, for the team buff. But with this, man, like, this is how you want to run it. You either going to run the chest plate for the extra damage. I really recommend running the chest plate. It's way better than Unbreakable. Because Unbreakable, it'll give you some armor back and stuff like that, but you're really gonna miss out on like 80 to 100 crit hit damage and doubling your fire rate. Like, well, not like increasing it by 50%. Like, it's too good to pass up. You still have to be in cover for 5 seconds, you know? So your build will look like this, right? So 4 pieces of Umbra Initiative. They naturally come red, so you're gonna have to get crit chance on it, and then roll blue onto it. Then you're running 1 piece Catharsis, 1 piece Matter. You preferably blue, but like for us, it's hard to get, right? So it could be red for now until you get a blue one. And then just pushing people. You get into combat. You're just here chilling. Every second they let you chill is a second they're making a mistake. But they can't stop you. They literally just cannot stop you, right? And as soon as you get your buff, go outside the cover. This is your AKM. Remember, I'm just using the FAMAS because this is the AKM basically. And boom, I knock somebody. You just knock somebody like that quick, because you have that 100% crit hit damage for. You got to oversimplify it. You have 90% crit hit damage for a second, like for like 5 seconds. Then you go to 80. Then you go to for like 3 seconds. Like it's a lot, right? It is a lot. So you got 100 stacks. Every 1 second you lose 4 stacks. So you got 25 seconds before all your stacks are gone. You got a good like 10 seconds of high damage, high RPM in you, and then you have some decent, and then you have nothing. But man, are those first 10 seconds where you're gonna be knocking people out? Those are 10 seconds where you're just gonna be the most biggest threat on the field. That's why you want to use the Matter, give you that extra couple, like hundreds of armor, so you can still knock somebody down, move around. Then you get low, right? So after your Matter's done, you're like, oh shoot, man, I'm getting low. Boom, into cover. 1 second, 25% armor regen. That's 500,000 right there. 600,000 with the Catharsis, right there. Boom. If nobody's draining you, stay in there another second. Boom, 2 million armor right there. 1.2 million armor right there. Another second, you're basically at max health. Get back into the fight. That's 3 seconds you're letting your teammates handle them, foaming them, and then you're back into there with your From the Shadows buff refreshed. All your buff that you just lost from being in that fight, all that damage and RPM, you have it again. Just like that quick. And then you kill them. You are the core center of the team. Maybe with a healer. You might be running with a healer now. And man, you are the biggest threat. Just the biggest threat. I can see two pieces. I can see 2 people in your team with Umbra Initiative at least. Like I can see 1 person for sure, but 2 will probably be what they're trying to pull off, and 1 healer and then 1 DPS somewhere or something like that, or another tank. But this is how you definitely want to do it. I can see 2 healers and 2 Umbra Initiative. I can see that happening. Just understand that you will have the RKA's damage plus the crit hit damage from the Umbra Initiative, but you'll have the FAMAS's fire rate. And then after 5 seconds, then you will have the Carbine 7's fire rate, then the Keenbreaker's fire rate, and then again the AKN's fire rate. but you have so much extra damage that he's just putting in there. You could also run it with an SMG, like I said, the 281. You would have the Banshee's fire rate, and then the SIG MPX, and then keep going lower. Now, let me talk about the shotguns. You could also use this with the shotguns, like the send-off and stuff like that. The shotguns would be good too. You can use it with the Diamondback, real quick, pop people. The Diamondback is gonna be hitting like a truck. So at full 100% buff, it's gonna be 150 RPM, but the crit hit damage on this thing is gonna be a lot, especially with the mark getting that amplified damage. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. You're gonna be hitting people just too hard, right? Too hard. Now you could run this all red. If you run this all red and do a full DPS build, you could do that for sure. It would definitely work. So what you're doing, imagine all these are red. So let me put this on. Let me put this on, right? So instead of running this, I'm going to make this an Umbra initiative build. I will actually, and then I'm definitely gonna be using it with like with vigilance. I will be in cover, and then I'll definitely probably be using like a M1A or something. I will pop out of cover. You have to pop out of cover to get your buff, remember? And just I'm hitting for 2 million right now, but I'm gonna be replacing the Providence, the Contractors, the Walker, all this to get 100 crit hit damage to hit for probably about 4 million. This is exactly what you want to do right here. You see that 10 million right there? Just imagine how much it's gonna be hitting with the Umbra initiative. You could go full red with Umbra initiative. For PvE, for doing legendaries, it's an amazing build for sure. I will go back into cover, regen to max, back into cover. Get my stack back up, pop out, kill another legendary guy, back into cover. The possibilities for Umbra initiative is amazing. So that's why I recommend running with it. You want to use low rate fire guns. If you use low rate of fire guns, you will be getting the most out of it. You can't be using FAMASs. You can't be using the like you could be using the FAL, the TBK, those are the two ones you want to be using for ARs. And then for the LMGs, man, this skill set will be amazing with the LMGs, especially the black market right here, the M60 or the Black Friday, stuff like that. The fire rate goes from 500 to 750, and you're using an LMG. This is if I was hinting at it, this would be a LMG gear set. You could use it with AR and SMGs for sure, but you're gonna be seeing like a lot of LMGs with this. You want to be using low rate of fire ones. Black Market is the only SMG, maybe a tactical UMP. Those are the only two you want to be using with it. The send-off is a really good shotgun. The fire rate's pretty low on it. I know a lot of people are using the custom 870. This is good. This will be a good one with this one. The Spaz, probably better one to use. Let's see. None of these really. The only one you want to be using is the M1A. Now with the snipers, a full red sniper build with the white death. With the white death right here. That is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You could use it with pistols. Man, I could definitely see this with the pistols. The Liberty. Oh man, and the Regulus. The pistol builds are gonna be very prominent. This gear set's gonna get nerfed, most likely. I can't see this gear set surviving for too long, like the way it looks like it's surviving right now in the PTS. But that's how you want to run the build. Either full red, pistol, sniper, rifle build, AR build, or full blue. Full blue. You know, like a full blue build. Just being an atrocious tank, a DPS tank. That's what you are, a DPS tank that heals himself. You do it all. You basically do it all. That's my thoughts on the Gear Set Umbra initiative. This is probably the biggest video that I've done in a while, and a lot of talking. This is a lot of talking I did, but there's a lot of information to digest from it. Like a lot of people are gonna be getting confused with this build, but make sure you refer to this video and my future videos on it once I actually get the build in my hands, and I'll be showing you what you want to do with it. But that's how you want to do it. You can't use it with the lady death. You could, but it's kind of pointless because you lose her buff because you'll be shooting too fast, right? If you're running it with a chest plate, she's gonna be shooting for about almost 1,400 RPM, faster than the vector, and then you're not gonna get your buff back anymore. It's too much. I mean, it does work well because sprinting and stuff like that with the gear set, but it will work. But you want the lower rate of fire guns. But it will definitely work with the Lady Death. It will definitely be very good. But that's the build. The skills I recommend for it: Defender Drone, because you want to stay alive as long as you can, man, just to mess those people up, man. And the Stinger Hive or the Booster Hive. Maybe the foam if you want, but the decoy. The decoy will be pretty good too. So it will look like this. So this is a mock fight right here. We get into contact, and then they're getting ready to push us, because I'm playing passive right here. I got my full stacks already. Then as soon as they get close right there, drop my decoy. They don't know how much armor I have unless they're looking at my decoy. I killed somebody just like that. Killed somebody. I'm low as hell because they're focusing me, even though I had my defender drone on the entire time. I didn't push it out though. Then I run around the corner. I go in, half my armor, full armor, back into the fight. I let my teammates deal with them for a couple seconds, and then I get back into the fight. Back with max stacks, back with max everything. That's how you want to run it. As soon as you get low, because you have your decoy out, you go behind a wall. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know what you're doing, but what you're doing is regenerating. That's what you're doing. Like you don't the amount of time it takes you to pop a med kit, right? Say you would want to pass a med kit, right? But you're already in the light, so you get that 25% when you get in. 25% armor, 50% armor. There's no point of running the med kit because you're already at 70% armor as soon as like you finish the med kit. So there's no real point to use it besides for the firewall buff. The only reason you'll be using it, right? So say right here, I'm right here. I mech it up. I go back outside. Now I have the firewall buff just to keep me in the fight longer. That would be the only reason you would want to use it. The only reason you would want to use your mech kits. You don't need to use your mech kits because the Into the Light heals you to max. Like the med kit would just be to make you be super damn aggressive. That's what the med kit's for. Make you super aggressive while regenning while out of cover and then back into the light. That is the build. I can't wait to get my hands on this thing because I already know how to run it. As soon as I looked at it, I figured it out. It is disgusting. I can't believe they're laying that thing into the DZ. I'll see you guys there, and I'll see you with my new build once I get my hands on it. Have fun with it. Share this with whoever you want to be build gods of you in the DZ, but I hope you watch to the end and there's a lot of information to digest. I know this is a very in-depth video about one build that hasn't even came out yet. Well, 4 versions of it. But It is just horrendous. The stats on that thing is atrocious. The only con about it, you have to be outside in the DZ. Isn't like if you're walking out the door from the checkpoint, hold square, walk out, you're just naked. You don't got anything. But if you're the one checkpoint farming them, you don't want checkpoint farming them. You're waiting. You got your full stacks, right? You already got your full stacks. You're just waiting for him to come out that door. Then as soon as he comes out the door, bam, full fire rate, full damage onto the floor. Man, this is gonna bring door farming to the next level. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. Just think about it. You already have your stacks, full 100 crit hit damage, 50% fire rate. They're done. They're done. But that I can labor the point, but that's the build. That's how you should use it. How I had it earlier. But my name is Ouroboros Reroll, aka Death Kill in the game. I'm your build god. Please like, comment, subscribe, I guess. Join my Discord. It'll be in the video. If you have any questions about this build, I'm sure a lot of you should have some questions about this build because it's very complicated. Just looking at it and hearing about it. But message me in Discord. Add me on PlayStation. If you have any questions, just let me know. But I want to see people running new builds in the DC. That's why I made my YouTube channel. I gave you guys all my god builds, everything I'm running the DC with. Just let me know. Thanks for watching. Make sure you prepare the build. Have fun.